Hour Special Edition. Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching the News Hour Special Edition. Once a Waqf, always a Waqf. The official website of Waqf Assets Management System of India proudly proclaims. But what does it mean? It means that the Waqf board can stake claim to, and let me show you what all they have done so far. They can stake claim to a temple as they have done in Tamil Nadu. 7 Hindu majority villages in this state were claimed as Waqf property, and one of them included a 1500-year-old temple. This village is a 95% Hindu population village, but the Waqf board said it belongs to us. They can also stake claim to a Gurdwara, and they have in Yamunanagar in Haryana. That is not all. They can also stake claim to a government building, which is what happened in Surat. The municipal corporation headquarters were said to be Waqf property. The municipal corporation supplied 8 documents to oppose this claim, but lost the case. Not just that, viewers, the Taj Mahal, Sunni Waqf board, believe it or not, said that Shah Jahan gave them Taj Mahal, registered Taj Mahal as Waqf property in 2005. When they went to the Supreme Court, the matter went to the Supreme Court, the court said, submit the title deed with the signatures. That is when the registration was stayed and has since remained the status of that case. However, that is not the heights of brazenness. Islands. They also stake claim to 2 islands in Bet Dwarka, which, remember, is the residence of Lord Krishna. High Court refused to even hear the case. They said that, do you even realize that you're staking claim to Krishna Nagari? However, what was it that made all these claims possible? Let me now tell you what. Section 3 of 1995 Waqf Act. That Waqf Act says that if the Waqf board has reasons to believe, quote unquote, that any property belongs to them, it can act on that belief or thinking of its. Then the Waqf can also call for registration of such property under the Waqf Act, as they did with the municipal corporation in Surat or the Gurdwara in Haryana. Board can call for show cause on why property should not be registered by it. Remember, this property belongs to somebody else. They have suddenly come out of nowhere and then staking claim on that property and issuing show cause notices. It is incumbent on the owner of that property to prove the ownership, not on the Waqf board, but on the owner, the original owner of that property. Now, if Waqf is not satisfied by the version provided by the owner, they can ask the owner to vacate that land, and the decision of the Waqf tribunal will be final and binding. Yes, viewers, there is no legal recourse that the person can resort to. No court, not even Supreme Court, can change the tribunal's decision. That is the provision that the current law has, and that can lead to the kind of claims that we saw earlier. But now, all this is about to change. Sources are telling Times Now that the Union Cabinet has already approved amendments to the Waqf Act. Let's break it down for you. As per these proposed amendments, it will be mandatory for the claims to properties made by the Waqf board to be verified by government officials, not the Waqf board officials, but government officials. The registries will be made with district collectors. Again, a government official. Similarly, mandatory verification has also been proposed for disputed properties of the Waqf board. The amendments will also give representation to women in the Central Waqf Council and state boards. That will be done to promote inclusivity. We are also hearing that the government has considered involving district magistrates in monitoring Waqf properties, prevent misuse of assets. The Modi government's decision has cut down the unfettered powers, or at least is all set to do so, because the date so far of tabling this move in the parliament, this bill in the parliament, has not been made public. that will allow Waqf Board to lay claim over properties solely on the basis of its thinking. That particular provision is now going to be cut down, and this has triggered a political maelstrom.
ये तमाम चीजें जो है मुसलमान के लिए हैं, इसलिए मैं मुसलमानों से अपील करना चाहता हूं कि मुसलमानों अपने वक्फ को बचाने के लिए, अपनी मस्जिदों को बचाने के लिए संवैधानिक तरीके से, जो संविधान ने हमें इजाजत दी है उस तरीके से अपना एहतजाज दर्ज कराना पड़ेगा। इसलिए संवैधानिक तरीके से बगैर किसी की संपत्ति को नुकसान पहुंचाए हमें इन बिलों की मुखालफत करनी पड़ेगी।
अमेंडमेंट एक प्रक्रिया है जो समय समय पर होती रहती है। जब पिछली मर्तबा जब दूसरी सरकारें थी, जब भी संशोधन हुआ था, तो जब संशोधन हुआ था तब ओवैसी साहब ने क्या कहा था, हर चीज का विरोध नहीं करना चाहिए, उस पर चर्चा करनी चाहिए और उस पर राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए।
मोदी सरकार ये चाह रही है कि पूरे वक्फ बोर्ड की प्रॉपर्टीज को छीन लिया जाए, इनको मुसलमानों से छीन लिया जाए, और वो थ्रेटन कर रहे हैं वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टीज का जो कंट्रोल है वक्फ बोर्ड्स के ऊपर, ताकि उसमें तमाम लीगल एम्बिग्युइटीज पैदा हो जाना, और इससे और वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टीज का नुकसान होगा।
वक्फ बोर्ड की जमीन वंस से वक्फ ऑलवेज वक्फ, उसका मतलब ये होता है कि एक बार जो प्रॉपर्टी वक्फ में डिक्लेयर हुई है वो हमेशा के लिए वक्फ में ही रहेगी।
प्रोपेगेंडा करना कि साहब कोई भी जो है किसी भी प्रॉपर्टी को जो है वक्फ बोर्ड वाले कह देते हैं हमारी है, ऐसा कौन कहता है? कोई मस्जिद का इमाम या मदरसे का मोहतरम थोड़ी कहता है।
जब से भारतीय जनता पार्टी को पूरे देश में अल्पसंख्यकों ने वोट नहीं दिया, तब से उनके पीछे पड़ गई है। आप अब कोई चुनाव जीतने वाले नहीं, क्योंकि न तो हिंदू आपके साथ है और न तो अल्पसंख्यक आपके साथ है।
ये एक पर्टिकुलर तबका को नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए उनके जो धार्मिक जज्बात हैं उनको ठेस पहुंचाने के लिए किया जा रहा है।
जो हिंदू के मंदिर थे उनको भी सरकार के कब्जे में इन लोगों ने लिया, तो हिंदू को नहीं छोड़ा तो ये मुस्लिमों को छोड़ने वाले हैं क्या?
Now there are several big questions that we are trying to find answers now. The Waqf Board has become India's third largest landlord only after the defense forces and the railways. How? Waqf land has doubled in 15 years. How did that happen? The land that is now 9.4 lakh acres under the Waqf Board generates only a revenue of 200 crores. How is that possible? Once a Waqf, always a Waqf. Why should that be allowed in a secular country that follows the constitution for people without any legal recourse? Can't be challenged in the court. Why? No Waqf in many Muslim nations. Why India has one? To help us get the answers to those questions, we are now joined by an esteemed panel of guests. We have Tushar Gupta, who's joining us. We have Vishnu Shankar Jain, a lawyer, joining us. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, political analyst, is with us. Advocate Adil Hassan, spokesperson of the AIMIM, is with us. And Vivek Srivastava, who's a political analyst, is also with us. Now, since we have heard Asaduddin Owaisi talking about it very vociferously, my first question is to you, Advocate Adil Hassan. Why should such draconian, unfettered, unbridled powers not go under some sort of scrutiny?
My concern is that why the Modi government is always want to disturb the Muslim community. Waqf board is not a private entity. Waqf chairman is appointed by the state government. Waqf CEO is appointed by the state government. All the officials who are in the Waqf board, they work under the state government. It's not, they are not the private running by any firm from Ambani or Adani. They are the official gazetted officers from the state government. They are nominated by the state government. They have independent identity because there is the need of hour that they don't have to put pressure from any government. It is an autonomous body. We have Hindu Niyaz board. We have Waqf board. It's same. Why not Modi government wants to consult with the Muslim scholars, Muslim intellectual, Muslim member of parliament? Why Modi wants to put everything, we Muslim community in the cage? My concern is that what Mr. Nitish Kumar will say, what Mr. Naidu will say. Mr. Naidu do every year.
You don't worry about what Nitish Kumar and Mr. Naidu will say. You worry about what you are saying. How is it disturbing the Muslims?
I will, because yes, Ma'am, my leader very categorically explained everything in the press conference. Our concern is that why not Modi government in every issue related to the Muslim community never discuss with the Muslim member of parliament, Muslim intellectual. Why Modi government puts everything and want to put the Muslim community in the cage? Our India is a democratic country. Modi lost Ayodhya, Modi lost Badrinath, the Hindu temple.
We get your point. The point is about consultation and why is it unilateral? Tushar Gupta, irrespective of what changes are being brought about, at least consultation is merited.
We don't have any problem. Why you are putting pressure on us?
Consult who? I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Consult who? Mr. Hussain said that the officers are appointed by the government, be it from the center or from the state. So by Adil Hussain's logic, we are talking about an extended PSU, which has no jurisdiction, which has too many rights, if the government is bringing in amendments. So who they should really consult? And how is this about a community? This is not about a community. Let's be very clear about one thing. The Waqf Act or the amendments that may follow tomorrow or this week are not about one community. It is about real estate legislation. It is about real estate regulation. Let's get that very clear. You pointed out a few examples about the Taj Mahal, for instance. A 400-year-old declaration which had no paper proof also. I remember the court had asked the Waqf side to produce any documents and they could not. So on what basis is the Waqf also functioning? This all needs to be discussed from the prism of real estate regulation. There are people who would like to make this about one community versus the government, as they did with CAA and NRC, but this has nothing to do with the community. The Waqf land is for religious, charitable or educational purpose, and there have been instances where the land has not been used for it and the state governments have taken action, BJP or no BJP. So I don't see where this whole topic of consultation or going against one community comes from. This is purely and purely a real estate regulation practice, and it must be carried out in a secular state like India.
Yes, sir. Your counter, Mr. Hassan.
Ma'am, I want to answer. मैम वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी मेरे बाप दादा की दी हुई प्रॉपर्टी है, वो मोदी सरकार की नहीं है कि अदानी और अंबानी को खैरात में दे दें जैसे धारावी में दे रहे हैं। वो मेरे पिताजी
सर बाप दादा के नाम पे तो आप शाहजहां के पास पहुंच गए।
बच्चों ने एक मकसद के लिए दिया है।
सर शाहजहां ने ताजमहल किस मकसद के लिए दिया है?
ये थोड़ा सा सुनने का सब्र रखिए। जिस तरीके आप सुनिएगा कि नहीं सुनिएगा, आप सुनने का मादा रखती हैं कि नहीं सुनिएगा आप?
सर सवाल तो इसीलिए पूछ रहा हूं ताकि जवाब सुनूं।
रहता है उसमें एक डिक्लेयर डीड रहता है। नहीं आपके साथ दिक्कत है कि आप लोग सुनना नहीं चाहती हैं। आप एक तरफा नहीं चला सकती है। सुनिए, लेट मी स्पीक। वक्फ की जो प्रॉपर्टियां हैं, जो वाकिफ है, जो वक्फ को देता है, वो एक मंशा से देता है, एक इंटेंशन से देता है कि अनाथालय हो, ऑर्फनेज हो, मस्जिद हो, मदरसा हो या दूसरा चैरिटेबल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन चलाए, उस डीड में लिखा रहता है। वो कोई ऐसे ही किसी प्रॉपर्टी को कोई वक्फ बोर्ड नहीं हायर करता है। वो नियम के तहत होता है और एक साल में अगर वो कोई अगर ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं करता है तब वो वक्फ में रजिस्टर्ड होता है।
सर कैन आई से समथिंग?
वक्फ में नहीं किया जा सकता है। वक्फ का एक नियम है, कानून है, एक सिस्टम है।
सर कैन आई से समथिंग?
हाँ मैम बोलिए।
सर सूरत म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन किसने दिया था वक्फ बोर्ड को? ताजमहल किसने दिया था वक्फ बोर्ड को? जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बोला कि दिखाइए हमको ट्रांसफर डीड, दिखाइए हमको शाहजहां के सिग्नेचर, तब आपने क्या बोला था?
इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट लैंड में।
हाँ मैम, इलेक्ट्रोल बॉन्ड में किसने कहा था यशोदा हॉस्पिटल?
सर आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं।
छुपाने, करोड़ों रुपया चंदा लेने, पार्लियामेंट की जो बिल्डिंग बनी है उससे।
सर आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं।
किसने कहा था कि बैकडोर से पैसा?
सर मैं आपको पूरा सुनूंगी लेकिन आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं।
इलेक्ट्रोल बॉन्ड में चंदा लेने?
सर आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं।
नरेंद्र मोदी को किसने कहा था कि चंदा?
सर आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे रहे हैं। बट एनीवेज आई डोंट वांट टू गेट इनटू दिस लूप। कमरुज़्ज़मान चौधरी, डू यू हैव आंसर्स टू दीज क्वेश्चंस? डू यू और डू यू नॉट अग्री दैट इन दिस केस वक्फ एक्ट लुक्स लाइक अ केस ऑफ जज, ज्यूरी एंड एग्जीक्यूशनर ऑल बीइंग द सेम पर्सन?
It's laughable. Nobody understands what a waqf is. And you come and lecture to the Muslims of this country what the bloody hell the waqf property
Sir,
is.
let's just use parliamentary language, please. I'm pretty sure you have strong enough arguments to make them without using unparliamentary words.
The government deserves this type of language. You know, let me get back to your history. In 1954, when the act was being brought by Jawaharlal Nehru ji, at that time Maulana Abul Kalam Azad said don't bring the Waqf properties of the Muslims under the control of the government. Don't bring it. Let the Muslims decide on what to do with their properties. And one mistake, being a congressman, one mistake of Jawaharlal Nehru, and today this same Modi ji is coming and taking over the properties of the Waqf. Second point, madam, do you know what are the contents of this bill or the act that the Modi government is proposing to bring out here? Nobody in this country knows what the proposed amendments are. A government has got the right to bring any type of amendments in any act that is prevalent in the country. But the intent of the bill, the intent with which the Modi government is bringing this act is to suit and to cater to a majoritarian Hindutva agenda. देखो हमने मुसलमानों को सबक सिखा रहा है. मोदी is the only one जो मुसलमानों का हक छीन कर जो है कि अरे मैडम you don't know anything about Waqf Act.
No, I don't. Please enlighten me.
Waqf is
I don't.
Already a donated property. That's what I'm telling. Don't cite specific examples of Tamil Nadu or about some other instances.
Why not?
Don't cite such specific
Are they wrong?
examples.
Are they factually incorrect?
There are specific examples
Are they?
wherein the law has been...
Sir, are they factually
the
incorrect?
law has been circumvented. Wait, madam. Madam, I may be factually incorrect. All the bigots of this country can file a case against me.
But sir,
Because I'm angry
no,
today.
please let's not take it on a
The
different
sovereign
tangent. You
guarantee-
said I should not cite
Because the
particular
sovereign
examples. Tell me
guarantee-
why should I not cite those examples? Are they false?
I've got a chance. Don't cite any specific examples to say that the entire Waqf is a fraud. The Waqf is a sovereign guarantee by the Constitution of India given to the Muslims who remained back in the country that your properties, your management, your freedom to religion will be protected under the Constitution of India.
Okay.
We see the debates coming of the Waqf Act.
Vishnu Shankar
We see
Jain,
bigots
freedom of
campaigning
religion and
against-
autonomy are being snatched away by a government whose track record has been to target Muslims is the allegation.
Instances wherein the government has oversteps its brief.
Now let me bring this debate into perspective. See, the important point is this, that there is a very important concept in law, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Now the unfettered powers which have been given to the Waqf Board, certain provisions I want to highlight. There is a survey which is conducted under section 4, 5 and 6 of the Waqf Act 1995. No notice, no opportunity of hearing is provided in that survey, and the cost of that survey is borne by the state government under section 8, which is in clear violation of article 27 of the Constitution of India. There is no such provision for any other community or society. Point number 1. Point number 2, under section 6, the Congress government made an amendment in 2013, and earlier the law was that this notification or this survey will not apply to non-Muslims. Now that word has been changed. Earlier the word was person aggrieved. That has been changed. Earlier the word was person interested. That has been changed to person aggrieved. And now the judgments of Supreme Court has come that in that survey we have to challenge it before the Waqf Tribunal. The Waqf Tribunal itself is unconstitutional. If you will analyze the provisions of Article 323A and 323B, there are criteria and categories on which the central government or the state government can make tribunals. Waqf Tribunal does not fall in that category. Apart from that, the Waqf Board has been given the status of a parallel government. If you want to file a case against them under section 89, you have to give them 2 months prior notice. The law of limitation of 1963 does not apply to them. If I have to go for reclamation of my temple, I have to go within 3 years, 6 years or 12 years. For them, there is no law of limitation. Then all the properties which were within the Administration of Evacuee Property Act 1950, of which the custodian was central government, which the people were believing will be given to the immigrants from Pakistan, have been given to the Waqf Board by virtue of section 108. Apart from that, there are live case studies, as you have already told, and I want to add in that case study, Allahabad High Court's land, one of the portion of the land of Allahabad High Court was declared as a Waqf property. The matter travelled to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said that you do not have a claim over this land. Gyanvyapi, Krishna Janmabhoomi, they are claiming it to be a Waqf property without any document. And I want to ask everyone here in this panel, they were saying about Waqf deed. What is the concept, sir, of Waqf by user? We have seen the concept of Waqf by user in Eidgah Maidan and in Ram Mandir. When you don't have any deed, any document, you will say that we were using this property from past 50 years or 100 years or 20 years or 10 years, and this has become Waqf by user. Apart from that, under section 101,
all your people have been given the status of a public servant. No pujari, priest or mahant in this country has been given the status of public servant. Under section 53-54, you have the right to get away the illegal encroachment. Such power is not with the other sections of the society. So, and apart from that, one very important thing I want to highlight. The original concept of waqf has been also manipulated. The two books are there on, it is again Islamic law also. Two authoritative books are there on the definition of waqf. Principles of Mohammedan law by Mullah and extracts from digest of Mohammedan law by Delhi.
Okay.
In all these two books, the definition of waqf is that a person who is having his own property can dedicate it for Allah. So here the definition has been changed under Waqf Act 1995 section 3 subclause R. And this definition which was there as the Islamic law has also not been incorporated. So these are the kind of manipulations which have been done under the Waqf Act, and it has to be amended.
All right. I see fingers going up. Kamruzaban Chaudhary and Adil quickly, because I really need to bring Vivek Srivastav in. Kamruzaban Chaudhary first.
Yeah, basically the learned lawyer in your panel, he said the Waqf tribunal is unconstitutional. Then he said that all the properties which have been declared Waqf are unconstitutional because parts of, he cited the example of the Lucknow High Court XYZ properties and all this. You see, I can't understand which college he has passed his law from. Any property which needs to be dedicated, whether it is a Devatto property that is in the name of Thakur that we call it, or the god that we call it, is always through an executed registered deed. A Waqfnama, if I donate my property in the name of the religion or in the name of my community, always becomes deemed to be a Waqf until my deed of gift is being challenged in a court of law. In that case, the court always refers it to the Waqf tribunal, which hears both the parties as a quasi-judicial body and passes its judgment, which is ultimately being accepted by both the parties. If not, they have got the liberty to approach the High Court or the Supreme Court. Otherwise, why the Allahabad High Court's case wherein it was declared to be a Waqf property
Mr. Chaudhary,
executed by the Supreme Court? The redressal mechanism is there always.
Mr. Chaudhary,
here earlier, it is here now, and it will be
yes.
again.
Mr. Chaudhary, I have a small question. You said.
I doubt the intention of the Modi government and the right-wing bigotry.
Sir, we'll come to Modi government's intention, but I have a small query before we go to Vishnu Shankar Jain for a counter. Now, you said that Waqf gets land that is donated as a gift deed by somebody. Let me cite you an example. I spoke about it earlier as well, what happened in Tamil Nadu. A gift deed, I would assume that somebody who's giving that gift would be aware that he has given that gift. There is... Why, sir? These specific examples show what is the problem with the system and which is why it needs to be changed. If you find flaws with the example, you point those flaws out. I will cite examples and I will read it out to you. What happened in Tiruchenturai village in Trichy in Tamil Nadu. It was randomly declared a Waqf property. The people living in that area did not even know that it had been declared a Waqf property. How it came to fore is when a person named Raj Gopal tried to sell his own land. 1 acre 2 cents of land to some other person, and it was surprised to learn when he went to register his property that it now belonged to Waqf board. How is it a gift if I do not know that I'm gifting it to somebody? Somebody just randomly comes, and this village, by the way, is the one that I spoke about. 95% Hindus in this village. It also has a 1500-year-old temple that Waqf board said was donated to them. How do you explain this? Mr. Adil Hasan, do you have an answer to that? Yes, Mr. Hasan, quickly.
जितना धैर्य से आपने विष्णु शंकर जैन का सुना, उतना मुझे बोलने दीजिए. अगर आप सुनने का मादा आप में है तो वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी जो है, वक्फ बोर्ड विष्णु शंकर जैन को बताइए कि वक्फ ट्रिब्यूनल में जो जज बैठते हैं वो हाई कोर्ट अपॉइंट करता है, वो कोई प्राइवेट एंटिटी नहीं अपॉइंट करता है. चेयरमैन जो है सीएमओ अपॉइंट करता है, उसका वोटिंग होता है, उसमें एक एमएलए, एक इंटेलेक्चुअल, एक एमपी रहता है, उसमें जो वक्फ की तरफ से एक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होते हैं. ऐसे ही कोई वो नहीं हो जाता है. मोदी जी की तरह नहीं कि धारावी अदानी को दे दिए. WAF is a systematic system. It's run under system. It's run under the government. Vishnu Shankar Jain, this is not your court.
Adil Hasan,
आप बोल दिए.
Adil Hasan, I will raise
It's not your court. जो मंचा झोला उठा के
Yes.
आ गए.
Okay. Vishnu Shankar Jain has a counter to that. Let's take it one by one. Everybody else, sir, all of us will come out wiser from this. Let's take it one by one. Yes, Mr. Vishnu Shankar Jain, you have a counter to that.
Mr. Chaudhary and Mr. Adil Hasan are very aggressive. See, Mr. Chaudhary and Mr. Adil Hasan are very aggressive, and they can make personal remarks. Mr. Chaudhary is very interested as to from which college I have passed law, but he is very senior to me, so I will not make personal comments. The point and issue is this. I will stick to my point and stick to the debate. The point and issue is this, that where is the document of Waqf so far as the land of Allahabad High Court was concerned? Where is the document of Waqf dedication so far as Eidgah Maidan of Bangalore was concerned? Where is the document of Waqf so far as Taj Mahal is concerned? Where is the document of Waqf so far as Chandrasekhar Azad Park is concerned? Please read, Mr. Chaudhary. You are so a learned man. Please read the judgment of Deen Muhammad in Gyanvapi case. There was no document so far as claim of Waqf over the Gyanvapi was concerned. Where is the document of Waqf so far as Krishna Janmabhoomi is concerned? Where is the document of Waqf so far as Surat Municipal Corporation is concerned?
But they don't need it. But the Waqf board doesn't need any of those documents, because let me read it from the Waqf Act itself, and then I would like to bring in Vivek Srivastava. Section 43 provides that if Waqf board has any reason to believe that any property is a Waqf, it can initiate an inquiry and call upon such property holder to register the property, which loosely paraphrases as, if I think it is mine, it is mine. Vivek Srivastava, is that okay with you?
No. See, first of all, you have to understand that why the concept of Waqf was introduced after 1947. And there was a big dispute. Many Muslim scholars, Muslim member of parliaments and MLAs were not in favor of setting up a Waqf board because they were not interested that the central government or the state governments in any way control the religious institutions of the Muslims. This is the first thing. And today, I mean, it is being shown as if like that is something, a piece of cake that was gifted to the Muslim community. It is the other way around. It is the government through the Waqf board which is controlling the religious properties of the Muslim community. Number one. Number two, these amendments are basically mischievous in nature, I believe. I have a lot of respect for Vishnu Jain. He's a good lawyer, a youngster trying to come up. But however, Vishnu, see, I believe you use the word Gyanvapi time and again. Tell me one thing. For Gyanvapi, whether it is the Muslim Paksh or it is the Hindu Paksh, registry का पेपर कहाँ से लाएंगे सर? हजारों साल पुराना dispute है, उसमें registry का पेपर कहाँ से लाएंगे? So, I mean, the same is true for a 15. So, this is a particular amendment which is.
Okay, you've asked a question. Both Tushar and Vishnu Shankar Jain will respond quickly. Then we'll move on to your next question. Yes, Vishnu and then Tushar.
See, my friend Mr. Srivastava is saying that I am a very upcoming lawyer and this and that. All kind of sweet comments you can make, but you are senior to me, so I will not respond in the same language. Apart from that, the point is this, आप कह रहे हैं कागज कहाँ से लाएंगे? अरे सर, ये CAA की डिबेट में आप नहीं आए हैं कि कागज कहाँ से लाएंगे? You have to understand the concept of Waqf. For Waqf, you have to have a deed of dedication. Without deed of dedication, it can't be a valid Waqf. अब now you are asking for deed of dedication. You are saying कागज कहाँ से लाएंगे? अरे Islamic law says so. Islamic law says so. I have quoted two books, sir. Please have the time to read those books. Bailey's law as well as Mullah Muhammad law. Now you are saying कागज कहाँ से लाएंगे? I think you are here in the wrong debate.
You have read it. I have read it, and in fact, you are the main person fighting for it. You know it.
कागज कहाँ से लाएंगे?
But Tushar,
deed of dedication.
Tushar, am I wrong in understanding that the current laws actually allows them to stake claim to a property without showing any documents?
No, there's nothing like that. It's not possible.
No, you're absolutely right in your interpretation, Priya, there. And let me tell you one simple thing. There is no dispute here. Let's not confuse it with a dispute, what Vivek Srivastava is doing right now. If someone realizes that their land has been registered with the Waqf board for the first time when they're going to sell that property, this is not a dispute. This is a takeover. And this is what the amendments should address. Look, there are two ways. In the real practical world, there are two ways how you can prove that something belongs to you in terms of real estate. Either you have the documentation or you have the archaeological proof for it. In a lot of cases that have come up, there is lack of documentation. There is a lack of data, as Vishnu is also pointing out. But if you want to go to the archaeological way, as happened with a lot of other cases, for instance, where is the archaeological evidence or documentation evidence that the two islands in Bet Dwarka were given to the Waqf board? Absolutely none. So if you're going to go the archaeological way, then let's have the removal of the Places of Worship Act also. Why stop at Shah Jahan? Let's go to Bhagwan Ram. Let's start with the oldest civilization on this planet. This yardstick has to be same. अरे वो डीड थी 1000 साल पहले तो आप उसको मानिए, पर 5000 पहले एक मंदिर था वहां, उसको हम नहीं मानेंगे. This contradictory hypocrisy doesn't really work, and that is why I'm again saying this is not about targeting one community. This is not about targeting any community. The panelists on this debate are trying to drive this debate into very different and a dangerous direction. This is about regulating real estate as it should be done in a secular state. That is what the opposition likes to hail India as, a secular state. So we are just being secular here.
And when it comes to the real estate as well, as per the last data available, Waqf board has 9.4 lakh acres of land. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, what are they doing with these properties? Because the revenue generated as per the website of Waqf board itself, it is just 200 crores.
That means you did not understand the Waqf Act, what is the Waqf, what constitutes the Waqf, and how do you administer a Waqf property. The government gets 7% in different states, it's different yardstick. A 7% of the revenue earned by that particular Waqf property is sent back to the board, which in turn manages the salaries of the imams, of the muazzins, of managing these centrally administered properties. That is the actual meaning of the Waqf. But coming to a very important question wherein anybody, suppose I have got a property which I want to donate to the Waqf, means to donate to Allah or the community. I need to have proper ownership before I can donate, and the Waqf board takes over my property to administer it. In turn, the Waqf board appoints me as a caretaker called the Mutawalli. It is not so easy. The Islamic law, the country's constitution, the Waqf Act have clearly defined it in anything. But if there are loopholes in the system, then it is the systemic collapse of the system to be blamed, not the Waqf Act, not the management of the Waqf properties, not those Waqifs who are donating, not the Mutawallis who are managing it. It is the intent of the Modi government to cater to a majoritarian motive out here and say, look, we are teaching the Muslims of this country a big lesson. They have tinkered with the triple talaq debate. They are trying to tinker with the UCC. They have tinkered with the repeal of the Assam Muslim Marriages Act. They have tried to tinker with the Places of Worship Act. And God forbid, if this
but how is it teaching a lesson to the Muslims?
Word from the Constitution. And
how does it take away anything from the Muslims? It actually talks about inclusivity, about putting women on the panels as well. Yes, Tushar Gupta, you wanted to come in on that.
No, hold on. Let's be very clear about a few things. Triple talaq was not about a community but the rights of women. Assam's Child Marriage Act was not about a community but children's life and their rights. Right? Let's be very clear about these things. UCC is not about targeting one community but having a civil common law in a country where there is one constitution. So again, I don't know where Kamruzaman Chaudhary is trying to get away with here. He's trying to divide a debate in a very, divert the debate in a very dangerous direction. Again, this is not about the community. Kamruzaman Chaudhary keeps speaking against the Places of Worship Act. He says it should stay, that the government should not do with it. But he's okay with the property being donated hundreds of years ago and today being claimed as the Waqf property. My simple question, Priya, is if you're going to go by the deeds which are hundreds of years old, fine, go by it. But then what is wrong with then claiming that temples are also, they have a certain ownership also within the civilization? Why not have that same yardstick applied there as well?
Adil Hassan? What is sauce for goose is sauce for gander. What applies to Waqf also applies to POW.
Let me speak. मैंने अपनी जमीन किसी को दान की, किसी के उद्देश्य में मैंने दान की. बेचैनी विष्णु शंकर जैन और नरेंद्र मोदी को क्यों हो रहा है? आपने तो 1 रुपया दान आज तक किसी को नहीं किया, तो आप क्यों बेचैन वक्त में पड़ रहे हैं? अकबर ओवैसी साहब ने असेंबली में उठाया कि वी वांट एसआईटी इन वक्फ बोर्ड इंक्रोचमेंट.
सर पर एक बात बताइए, ये जो
एसआईटी इन वक्फ बोर्ड इंक्रोचमेंट, अभी तक करोड़ों की प्रॉपर्टी इंक्रोच है. Nobody discuss encroachment in waqf properties.
सर एक छोटा सा सवाल ये है कि ये डोनेशंस का ये इतनी सारी what is the scale of this donation and where is this coming from? In 2004 the property that Waqf had is 3.09 lakh. Then in 2006 it goes to 4.9 lakh hectares, and now as far as 2024 is concerned it is 8.72 lakh hectares, which is about 3 times rise.
Just listen to me. The rise is there because earlier it was not registered properly with the Waqf board. Now the people are coming and putting the document before the Waqf board. They are putting everything before the Waqf board, and with the due process, Waqf board is registering the property under the Waqf Act. It is not, earlier it was not done because now the encroachment is at very highest level. So the people concerned of the community from the Muslim and the non-Muslim also, they used to approach the Waqf board and they asked that this property belongs to the Waqf, so please get it registered in the Waqf board. This is the system. Waqf is not my property or individual property. Waqf is donated for the sake of Allah. It's for the poor people, for the orphanage, for the helping the society and the community. It's not for individual to give gift to the Adani or Ambani. Just like Mr. Modi ji given Dharavi to the Adani.
Yes, Tushar, for Allah, not for Ambanis and Adanis.
Nonsense. Tell me how are the 123 properties that were given by the UPA government before they went out to the Waqf board anyhow used for religious, charitable or educational purposes? Tell me, when they were delisted by the courts, why is the Waqf still
Let's take it one by one.
Is there a date of donation?
123 properties donated. Please answer how they are used for benefit of Muslims.
Priya.
Kamruzaman Chaudhary, please.
Yeah, very valid question. The question of 123 properties in Delhi are still sub judice, and let them decide what will happen with that. Let me cite out of this one property. Dargah Faiz Ilahi, a very valuable Waqf property located near the Turkman Gate and adjacent to the Ramlila Maidan in New Delhi. This property was illegally occupied by encroachers, and ultimately some people or social workers from the community approached the court and they removed the encroachment. Even Modi government is seized of this possibility that millions of acres of land in India which are deemed to be Waqf are being encroached upon. So there was a necessity of a survey being conducted across the country, across the state boards. That survey has been done, and most of the properties which were deemed to be Waqf came to register themselves to get a EC number. Let me tell you once again, an EC number denotes the registration of the Waqf with the Waqf board. So every property which is deemed to be Waqf has to have an EC number registered. But here, you will never speak about the thousands of crores of rupees of enemy property which are yet to be decided in the country. Because most of the enemy properties are once upon a time of those people who fled away to Bangladesh or to Pakistan, which are under the possession of the Department of Estate. What happened to that? Nobody will answer that.
I have just last few minutes left, so let me just bring in one more question that has been raised by All India Muslim Personal Law Board. The document that I have is from Dr. Muhammad Waqaruddin, who is the office secretary, and he says that this issue will not only be restricted to Muslims. After wielding the axe on Waqf, it is feared that the next number will be of endowments of Sikhs, Christians, and then on the mutts and other religious properties of Hindus. Muslims will never accept such an amendment, he goes on to say, and will exercise all other duties. Vishnu Shankar Jain, is this just the beginning of many more contentious changes?
Yes. See, I would like to respond, Priya. Both of your panelists, Mr. Chaudhary and the other panelist, has said, "Maine apni property waqf ki," and Mr. Chaudhary also gave a detailed definition of waqf. Now, please read section 3R. This is what we are pointing, and he is asking from which law college I have read. Now, please see section 3R of the Waqf Act. Waqf means the permanent dedication by any person of any immovable or immovable property for any purpose recognized by the Muslim law as pious, religious or charitable. And the definition which was saying कि जो अपनी खुद की प्रॉपर्टी है वही वक़्फ हो सकती है, वो हटा दी गई. कि आपकी खुद की ओनरशिप की जमीन होनी चाहिए, वही वक्फ हो सकती है. एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी आर प्रिसाइसली सेइंग, that for having a valid waqf it must be your own property, and 2 of your panelists have admitted that fact. But when we are asking for amendment in section 3R, they are saying,
and also what happens when there is no scrutiny is rampant corruption, charges of encroachment without any supervision. There are examples for everyone to see, the latest one being of Amanatullah in Delhi itself. But unfortunately, I've run out of time. Let's see when the government decides to table these amendments on the floor of the House. Right now, that's all the time we had. Thank you, gentlemen, for that very detailed debate on the issue.